And welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot, and for today's episode, we're going to talk about the continuing leftist garbage heap that is Reddit Columbus and the creepy fucks enabling child molestation and pedophilia on the fucking site with fucking disgusting books in the elementary school systems across this state and across this country. But before we get into that, we do want to give a shout out to the family of Khair Thomas. Sadly, he passed away this weekend. That was one of the two kids that was kidnapped in the Columbus area about the time of, it was right before Christmas last year, and it was a sad situation all the way around. Took him a couple days to find the kid, and apparently he passed away last night, or not last night, Saturday night, of I'm assuming complications related to the kidnapping and stuff like that. The fact he was out in a cold car for like 2 days basically of his life. I'm sure it had something to do with that, like an onset of that, like maybe pneumonia or something there that nobody realized it was. And yeah, it's just a sad situation all the way around, dude. So as it says, where are we at now? Yeah, as this was actually one of the things that was the only good thing about our Columbus today. Actually, was this particular one that talked about infant subject of Ohio Amber Alert has died. But the problem is, then you got people in the comment section trying to claim it's about wealth inequality and crap like that, like all kind of communist Marxist fucking indoctrination fucking trash is what it is, dude. And it's like, it had nothing to do with that, people. It was either some SID stuff or it was legitimately had to do with this fucking kidnapping, is my guess, honestly. So, yeah, but seriously, my thoughts and prayers and, everything else for that matter go out to that family. It's a tragic event that should have never happened, obviously. And it's even more tragic that, they only had him for another month or so before his passing. But, yeah, it's a terrible, terrible situation, dude, entirely. And, it makes me think about, what happened to poor little Ace Lucas here in the Canton area a couple years ago with him being killed in a drive-by of his house. And now his brother there is basically a solo twin, if you will, And it's sad, man. It's sad for these kids that are never going to be able to, grow up with their twins like that because of just some fucking shit that happened to him, was what it was, dude. Some tragic events and stuff like that. But anyway, we are going to talk about that a little bit more after we get into the main story of the day, which is specifically this fucking post that said, Columbus Dispatch, book challenges in Delaware County school districts are part of nationwide trend. And as this leftist creepy fuck here said, what is appropriate for elementary school students? What about high school students? It seems to me a number of the books they want banned are on point for students. I think kids need to learn it's okay to be different. I think high schoolers can get a lot out of coming-of-age books that talk about graphic sexual content. No, they don't, you dumbasses. No, they don't actually at all. So, yeah, it's just fucking ridiculous entirely. And, it's just, oh my god, dude. And I'm going to say it like it is, dude. So, here's a good one for you guys that don't know about the story already. About a year ago, almost a year ago to the day now, actually. It's been about 9 months or so now. So it'd be April of this year will be the 1 year anniversary that's happening. I had a fallout with Guns and Barbecue and a few other people from the 2A community, specifically PNW Woods, who can suck my dick at this point, by the way, for literally calling me leftist hate and shit, literally calling me a low-key white supremacist back then, which I'm not, by the way. He's a fucking douchebag. He can fuck himself, is what it is. And the entire point is that basically I went off on a whole tirade under the previous name that I used on this channel a year ago about, being sick and tired of these pedophile nibblers is what it was, dude. And that's pretty much what led to, the broken up of, acquaintanceships, friendships, whatever you call them at that point in time in history. And, I've since obviously, doubled down on that stuff, and I'll continue to double down on it, dude, because I am sick and tired of seeing people fucking creeping on kids is what it is, man. Legitimately. And if you have a problem with that, then that's your fucking problem. And maybe I should be side-eyeing you as a fucking possible piece of shit in this country, honestly, is what it is, dude. And it's as simple as that, really. But, yeah, the entire point of the matter is that it's not okay to fuck with kids, man. Period. At all. And people that are okay with that can fuck off is what it is, dude. Seriously. But anyway, so basically, continuing on with what I was talking about, though, here. You have these people in our society currently, and it's a lot of lefty people is what it is, dude. It's a lot of left-leaning individuals and stuff like that are cool with pushing indoctrination agendas at children. They're cool with pushing trans crap at little kids, or cool with pushing fucking sterilization garbage at children is what it is, dude. Legitimately. And I'm not okay with that, obviously. You know, as someone who has a 9-year-old niece in these school systems in the Columbus, Ohio area, I'm not okay with that, bro, at all. And, you know, it's not even just my niece. It's also my nephew who's in his teens anyway at this point. But it's like, still, the shit could be pushing him at this point, dude. You know, it could be the Marxist agenda crap being pushed down his throat is what it is, dude. And I have a problem with both of those things, honestly. It's like, stop fucking pushing agendas at children and actually educate them for real, dude. You know, you want to have, like, real educational systems again? Do a fucking constitutional course across the fucking board, dude, K to 12. Teach these kids about the fundamentals of our fucking founding fathers and stuff like that, dude. That's what we should be doing at this point. That's actual education at that point. You know? It's not, oh, this is how you need to be trans now. This is how you need to be gay now. This is how you need to be fucking whatever now, dude, and stuff like that. It's like, no, bro. They don't need to be hearing that crap. They need to be learning the basics. Reading, writing, mathematics, fucking constitutionalism, etc. It's not, oh, here's why you need to be a girl when you were born a boy. Or here's why you need to be a boy when you're born a girl. Like, what the fuck? Knock it off. Stop it. Seriously, bro. That's why I'm so sick and tired of it, man. But we are going to talk about the actual Columbus. I should say, yeah, the Columbus Dispatch article here that was not behind a paywall because somebody actually archived it is what it was. And thanks for that, honestly, because it's a good way to go here. No, it's not the right one. Sorry. Trying to grab the right fucking link here. That was the link to the actual. We'll go back to that one again to talk about the piece of shit OP there, the original poster of that crap. But now, as this one, it said book challenges in Delaware County school districts are part of a nationwide trend. Sorry, get my glasses back on to read this. Said first there was a murder mystery novel with a same-sex scene, then came the issue of Rainbow Unicorn. And earlier this month, there were some star-bellied sleeches who didn't treat plain-bellied sleeches very well because they're different. For some teachers, these fictional characters help students learn about relationships, empathy, not judging others by their appearance, and even economics, blah, blah, blah. But for some community members and parents in Delaware County and some other cases, school officials, they represented more controversial topics connected to sex, pro-LGBTQ indoctrination and racism, because they do, obviously. It said, in each of these instances, books being taught in public schools, the other Americans, it's okay to be a unicorn, and the sleeches have been involved in controversy since November 2021. The last one probably isn't so much on that bar. It's more like the first two, honestly. But, yeah, it basically goes into talk about this stuff and school boards banning books and stuff like that. And, yeah, it's, you know, stuff like this that probably shouldn't have been written is what it is, dude. Or, specifically, crap like this. It's okay to be a unicorn thing, which is basically just pushing fucking LGBTQ garbage is what it is, dude. It's nothing more than the I Am Jazz book being literally read to fucking kindergartners and first graders and stuff like that, dude. This is not fucking education. This is indoctrination into trans shit, is what it is. It's to push transgenderism on children. It's to have pedophiles in our school systems literally fucking groom kids to molest them later on is what it is, dude. And I'm sick and tired of them. That's why I'm going to call it out for what fucking it is, dude, at this point. That's exactly what it is. And if you're okay with that, as a fucking educator in this country, and I'm specifically calling you out, PNW Woods, or anybody else in that fucking educational system, if you fuckers are okay with this one, I have a fucking problem with you guys then, dude. Entirely. Because you're not only enabling that shit, it kind of makes me question if you're not doing it yourselves at that point then. So, anyway. But yeah, it's just fucking disgusting, dude, is what it is. So, anywho, going back to the original post there on the Columbus subreddit, then we had, the person's talking about like teachers and stuff like that. And it said a number of the books they want banned. Okay, we talked about that already. It said initially one of the parents who wants to ban these books banned is homeschooling their children, and that's the thing. Who cares? Who cares if that person's homeschooling their kids or not, right? Maybe they want their kids in public education. They just don't want the fucking indoctrination related to the fucking shit now is what it is, dude. And that's why they've chosen to do homeschooling stuff and stuff like that. And the thing is, people don't even realize this, dude. At least I know for a fact when I was going to school anyway, this is, about 20 years ago almost now at this point in time in history, we actually had a school library that you could go and get a library card to as a public person and be able to use as basically a public library is what it was, dude. And I guarantee it's probably the same way in most of these school systems down there in Columbus right now, dude, or Delaware County area and stuff like that is what it is, man. Is you have parents and students and stuff like that could go get a library card and use those like a public library is what it is, man. And so probably what it was is this woman that's homeschooling her children went into this library, this public school or whatever, and found some of these books is what it was, and was starting to like look into them, read them and stuff like that at the place or whatever it was there, and we're like, what the fuck? And that's the thing, dude. And it's like, as an adult, if you're sitting there reading a book and it's like, and this is how Johnny sucked Billy's dick or something like that, it's like, yeah, that's gonna be like, what the fuck, bro? Like, what? This is for kids? What the hell's the matter with these fucking people, dude? And that's what I'm saying, And it's like, the worst part of it is, these are the kind of people, the ones that are pushing this shit right here. These people at the whether it be the Columbus Dispatch or whether it be, these people in this Reddit post and stuff like that are pushing this crap and being like, oh no, it's perfectly fine, it's perfectly acceptable, whatever the case be. It's like, the fact that these fuckers have voting rights still, dude, is everything wrong with this country currently, dude. And it's exactly why we're going to be heading towards civil war in this country, honestly. And honestly, I'm going to say it like it is right now, dude. If there is not a full-blown civil war here in the next couple of years, I guarantee you in the next 10 to 12 years, you're going to see a rise of Hitler in America, dude. Legitimately. It's going to be some left-wing fucking nut. It's going to be some Andrew Yang type or something like that, dude, is what it'll be. Legitimately. And I specifically bring out that motherfucker again because, again, going back to 2019, that's the reason that for swatting on me is what it was, dude. For calling out that Marxist piece of shit. Which, honestly, like, he would be more or less like the Chinese fucking invaders, what it is, dude. So, yeah, either way. And then, of course, you had other people in this subreddit talking about Trump and his run for 2024 here. Is apparently Trump has released his education policy, which is basically to do away with the culture war stuff, which is pretty much what Ron DeSantis is doing right now. And actually, while I'm here, I'm actually going to call out that piece of shit, J.B. Pritzker, as well, dude. For those that haven't heard, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, the same fucking cocksucker who should be in prison right now for creating a fucking assault weapons ban and taking away people's gun rights and depriving them of their constitutional rights to keep and bear arms in this country, is now trying to go out with DeSantis about like, oh no, we need these AP African studies courses in these school systems. Bring them here to Illinois and keep doing race-based bullshit, dude. How about go fuck yourself, JB, you fucking pedo? Because you know damn well, dude, that guy's a fucking child molester. He is a billionaire child molester as the Illinois governor right now. The fact that his wife during the lockdowns is defying lockdowns and going to like their second, third, fourth homes and stuff like that, dude, is absolutely ridiculous entirely. So, yeah. But it's funny, though, because going back to the person that this Leak 54 person, or sorry, Leak 54 person, that was the one who was talking about the whole thing with the book banning and stuff like that, was also involved in this thread 3 months ago. Said, large drop in voter turnout from Ohio's big urban counties. Significant steep drops in voter turnout include Columbus, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. And then what they were saying is, as a response to that, if the cities and frankly Democrats continue to sit out elections, we will continue to be part of a new Confederacy. There's nothing new about it, dude. You were the fucking Confederacy to begin with, motherfuckers. Legitimately. Like, seriously. Like, you guys want to sit there and talk about the original Civil War in this country Yet y'all were still owning slaves after fucking slavery pretty much ended, is what it was, dude, in the North. So, yeah, just saying, man. You know, it was the Democrat Party that created the fucking Klan, dude. Nobody ever talks about that, though, by the way. Or if they do, they're always censored, like I am, is what it is. And that's the truth, man. Democrats literally created the Ku Klux Klan back in the day. That's why you had Dixiecrats that were nothing but Democrats like Bill Clinton and Joe Biden and stuff like that back in the day, dude. And Robert Byrd and those other people like that were in the U.S. Senate back in the day, the 60s, 70s, et cetera, there. And it's like, yeah, you had these old racist motherfuckers who were literally Klansmen back then, specifically Robert Byrd was. And they were in Congress, they were in the Senate, dude, and stuff like that. And it's a bunch of shit, dude, entirely. So, anyway. But yeah, I could definitely see us going to another civil war in this country in the next year or two. And then meanwhile, for the great state of Ohio, I have a problem with this specific thing I'm going to talk about here in a minute. And it's only because of the fact that if it's not the state of Ohio that now owns this area, if it's somebody else owns this property, it shouldn't be our tax dollars going to demolish it. But if it is the state of Ohio, okay, that's fine. Use the tax money for it is what it is. So there's a mall down in Columbus area, specifically called Woodland Mall, that's been abandoned for years. They've used it from time to time to do gun shows and stuff like that down in Columbus. And now it's finally being demolished is what it is. It's pretty much in a ghetto is what it is. But it says, Ohio to pay to demolish Westland Mall. Does this disproportionately benefit the property owner? It depends. Is the property owner the state of Ohio? Or is the property owner like some dude named like Larry Householder? Obviously, I bring that up because Householder's trial is still going on. Of course, it's not going on right now because, unfortunately, one of the jurors supposedly caught COVID the other day, which is like more than the fucking modern day flu now. And, yeah, now they basically suspended the fucking thing until they get a new jury and stuff in there for the next couple weeks is what it is now. So, but yeah, my thing of that is it's like, okay, if it's actually the state of Ohio that owns the property, use the tax money. It's whatever, dude. That's where our tax money goes to anyway, to demolish shit like that and rebuild and everything else like that. However, if it's not, owned by Ohio as a state, and it's some like random person, then no, fuck that person. They should be paying to demolish it themselves is what it is, dude. And I guarantee it's probably China or something like that that's actually owns the fucking shit is what it is, dude. But, yeah, it's just ridiculous entirely. But anyway, so this is something interesting, though. And this goes back to the good side of our Columbus right now, though. This is a story I want to talk about, which has to do with the woman that kidnapped those kids in back in August, or back in December of last year. The one that died recently here, which was... Sorry, I'm trying to grab the actual story here. Yeah, Amber Alert infants kidnapped because Columbus releasing everyone on recognizance these days. And as a bunch of people in the comment section, including myself, said, stop electing activist judges and leftist mayors and city councils, and this crap will stop quickly. Somebody else said, people who get what they elect, plain and simple. Another person said, probably because the voters elect judges that tend to be more sympathetic. I mean, really, what are the options the judge has to lock her up for these petty crimes like theft and risk getting accused of being insensitive to people with mental illness, et cetera, et cetera? And then somebody else said, what is going on with these, the quote persons, what's going on with judges? It's becoming popular to not hold people accountable for their actions, exactly. And released 8 times in a year on their own recognizance for multiple crimes and multiple bench warrants. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, at some point, the politicians that are doing this stuff, dude, whether it be a judge or whether it be a mayor or city council or whatever, dude, they're allowing this shit to go on, they need to be charged, dude, for real. The fact that you've had 4 massacres happen in the past week or so in California, all 2A related, all criminals with guns, because douchebag Gavin Newsom and company make fucking the entire state of California a gun-free zone. It's time for those fuckers to be brought up on charges at this point, dude. It's time for Newsom to be brought up on charges. It's time for the fucking leftist-ass Democrats in California to be brought up on charges, etc., dude. And specifically, the reason I talk about that one is because I do want to talk about this story that popped off yesterday. Let's see if I can find it again real quick here. Oh, I just had it the other day. Damn it. Thought it was... Oh, they started dropping a bunch of stuff for the morning. That's what happened there. It makes more sense then. God damn it, where did it go now? Come on, be in my feed, please. Yeah, it's not popping up. But anyway, the story I'm talking about, though, was California has now gotten caught for the past 7 years or so giving illegal aliens driver's licenses since at least 2015 is what it is. So let me see if I can find it now on the other side of this. Should be in the feed here from last night. California. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is a Breitbart article here, which was... Yeah. Sanctuary State, California issues driver's licenses to over 1 million illegal aliens since 2015. And people wonder how Gavin Newsom got elected again, dude. People wonder how Nancy Pelosi's still in fucking Congress. People wonder how Maxine Waters' racist ass is still in Congress. It's like, yeah, not surprising, dude. Not surprising in the least. This motherfucker's still in office, dude, when they're literally allowing illegals to vote in the state of California. So, yeah, it's estimated 3.3 million illegal aliens reside in the state of California right now. I'm guaranteeing it's more than that, dude, even. So, yeah, just a bunch of shit entirely, dude. Absolute fucking garbage is what it is. So, anyway, trying to see if there's anything else I want to talk about here before I go back to what I was talking about a minute ago, though. Oh, yeah. So we're actually going to go back and talk about the actual post there about the woman who was really started in her cognizance is what it is. And then we'll talk about another article from that Art Columbus is what it is, dude. So, but yeah, it says, so look at the history of this woman that kidnapped these 2 infants, leaving one in a parking lot in Dayton and keeping the other one for who knows what as she went to Indianapolis, Indiana. So Jackson has a criminal record, including child endangerment and interference with custody charges and cases connected to her own kids. She also faced various misdemeanors and low-level felony charges. Indicted in July 2021, felony theft case, released on her own recognizance bond in September 21, failed to show for a hearing in November 2021, court revoked her bond, arrested in February, and then released again on a recognizance bond. Cycle occurred 2 more times, failed to appear for hearings in May and July. She was arrested once again in August 2022. She pled guilty to a misdemeanor theft charge, was sentenced to 48 days in jail, but released again due to time already served. Meanwhile, in common pleas, Jackson was arrested and released 5 times until the case was ultimately dismissed at the prosecutor's request. That prosecutor needs to be fucking charged, by the way. 3 months later, Grove City police arrested her on a warrant. Jackson was wanted in Guyana, Ohio, on telecommunications harassment and aggravated menacing charges filed in early November. She was released on her own recognizance November 30th, less than 3 weeks to the Monday when the Amber Alert went out when she kidnapped these kids, dude. Again, stop allowing leftist fucking judges, stop allowing activist assholes to be fucking in judges, dude. Disbar these motherfuckers. Fucking fire these prosecutors and charge them, dude. Seriously. I'm sick and tired of this shit, man. Like, this is why this shit is going on, dude. Seriously. It's because of crap like that right there. You get what you fucking vote for, dude, is what it is. You know, you vote for shitholers in a fucking shithole, and you wonder why it's a shithole, dude. And speaking of that one, speaking of the shithole thing, this is one I thought was funny from Mark Columbus, which was, what is so appealing about Columbus? This person said, I don't mean to disrespect, but as someone who has called Columbus home for almost 10 years, I'm consistently asking myself, why do I live here? And people wonder why I left, by the way, because it's a shithole. That's what it is, dude. That place stinks, by the way. It smells like shit everywhere, dude. I don't care what fucking suburb of Columbus you're in, dude. The entire fucking street smells like human feces because you literally have sewer grates everywhere and the fucking shit just wafts up into your fucking nose, dude. I know that for a fact because I was visiting my sister a few years ago. This is back in, I want to say Christmas 2019, right before everything went down and shit in 2020 there. We were down there. It was actually a nice Christmas day that day because there was no snow on the ground. It was actually people walking around in shorts for the most part there because it was like 50 degrees for some reason in Ohio that day. because it's fucking Ohio, and we have these crazy ass snowstorms that happen like months after that. But we can have like a 50-degree weather day that day. And yeah, we walked outside to go for a walk, and it's like I was just like, "What the hell is that fucking smell? It stinks like shit." And my sister's like, "Oh yeah, it's a sewer grate." So I'm like, "God damn! No wonder I stopped living in this fucking shithole." It's so bad, man. Like it is. It's so fucking bad. But yeah, this woman here in the comment section, though, I'm gonna read her post here because she was talking about Dayton versus Columbus here, which I thought was funny. She said, "Well, compared to Dayton, there is a better housing for me here. I feel healthier and more respected. Outside of work, I have a real life. In Dayton, the demographic is questionable." What she means by that is basically how you have a bunch of minorities, specifically black people, that tend to live in Dayton, Cincinnati, Cleveland, etc. I believe is what it is. And she continued on and said, "I won't delve into that again because it would be, probably about race is what it is." She said, "But I feel safer here as a black woman than I did in Dayton, Ohio. I meet new people from all over, and people are genuinely nice. Men and women are more attractive here, more to do. The streets don't smell like urine. I'm not harassed as much. People seem smarter, better dressed, more food options, better schools, walkability, better bus system, more grocery options, more libraries, better doctors, and better parks." It's funny. Actually, let me go ahead and look up the Dayton demographic because she might be trying to shit on white people on that one. I'm not sure, actually. So, race demographics. Okay, so she is trying to shit on white people apparently because it's like 50% white people is what it is. 38.5% black though. 4% American Indian or Native alone, and 1.2% Asian. Yeah, that sounds about right actually. The thing is though, it's like when you start. So I'm assuming that the 50% mark on that one, the 52% is what it is there. At least this is probably like old statistics from 2010 or something like that. You would have that be the rural areas of like the surrounding part of Dayton, Ohio, which is Hamilton County, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And it would probably be the actual city is more like minority is what it would be then. So, because it's the same thing with Toledo, it's the same thing with Columbus, the same thing with Canton, etc. Here, dude. You tend to have people like myself, white folks out here in the rural areas, the surrounding parts of Canton and stuff like that. Whereas in the actual city living of Canton, there it's mostly minorities is what it is. And then again, there's also a mix of like white and black as well on that one. So. Yeah, so the person was responding back to that person from Dayton and said, "Left in 2005 and never looked back. Best thing I ever did. I look at my friends who stayed back home and I'm glad I got out." That chick responded back, said, "Never liked Dayton. Not from there originally, but people have a hard time being kind and have huge jealousy problems. Mental illness is pretty bad." That's anywhere though, dude. Again, you look at any major city water supply in this country, dude, and it's full of fucking psych drugs. It's full of psych drugs and it's full of fucking estrogen and stuff like that, dude. They can't filter out is what it is. I mean, they could have just take too long to do is what it is, man. So, yeah, it's a whole fucking thing is what it is, man. But, yeah, I just think it's funny that they were talking about that shit is what it was. But going back full circle to what I was talking about with the homeschooling thing with that one woman, this Mindy woman. Again, there's no issues there, dude. The thing is, she's a taxpayer, at least her family is anyway. Like, they're the ones paying for these school systems, yet, people have a problem because she's a parent that's homeschooling, dude, is what it is. And it's fucking ridiculous, dude, is what it is entirely. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about that in a little bit, actually. We're going to do another grandstand here in the next, 20 minutes or so. Because I wanted to do this one specifically about Columbus, and I'm going to do another update to the Tyre Nichols story is what it is in the next episode for 132. Because obviously this 131 should have been the other day. I already did 131 yesterday is what it was. For those who haven't watched that last night, it was about the last 15 minutes or so. I went to the whole Tyre Nichols thing is what it was. And yeah, it's a bunch of shit, dude. We have a bunch of stories that we're going to cover on that one when it relates to the cops that were actually part of that. And how at least two of them should have never actually been police officers in this country because, again, when you lower quality standards, when you actually lower the qualifications to be a cop in that fucking city, dude, it's like you wonder why you get trashed is what it is, dude. Seriously. Not that hard to figure out, man. So, this the thing about Ohio is, right, like, the rural areas are awesome, dude. I love where I'm at. Except obviously the house was broken into a year and a half ago, but that has to do with fucking spillover from major cities, by the way. I'd like to point that one out. Seriously. And the whole thing of that is, it's like, it's fine when we don't have that shit going on, dude. But yeah, the rural areas are fucking awesome. It's the major cities that are shitholes, dude, is what it is. Because they're all run by Democrats, is what it is, man. Seriously. Democrat mayors, Democrat city councils, Democrat police chiefs fucking assigned by shitty mayors is what it is, dude. And then you wonder why you have criminals being put back out on fucking, no bonds and stuff like that. And you wonder why they keep doing criminal shit. It's like, it's not that hard to figure out, dude. You lock them up for the first offense when it's a fucking felony of some kind. And they ain't gonna be able to do fucking more felonies and misdemeanors and stuff like that, dude. Is it fucking ridiculous that we have like half of our jail system, prison system in this country basically being polluted by a bunch of mental ill people is what it is, dude? Yes, because you have mental institutions to deal with that shit is what it is, dude. But until we actually come together as a society and fucking deal with that issue and get the mental illness, the fucking help it needs at this point, dude. If you got people doing crimes and doing like crazy shit like killing people and eating them and stuff like that, they're gonna go to fucking prisons. So my only thing with Louisiana is that it's super hot, especially like even in the fucking like winter time, it's pretty hot there. It is, as far as I'm aware. But it's like, especially in the summertime though, oh my god, bro, like, man, you want to talk about swamp ass? You're gonna get some fucking swamp ass from that place for real. It makes sense why they call it swamp people, because you're having swamp ass. Those fucking things killing them gators, dude. But I do love that show though, dude. Fucking Troy Landry, man, that guy's the best. Although I do like Ronnie quite a bit as well, is what it is. Like him and his crew, and I want people like that now. But yeah, it's funny. I'll tell you one thing though, that Bruce dude in that series, man, like fuck, man. Who the hell goes solo gator hunting, dude? That's just nuts. Like, talk about an accident waiting to happen there, man. Like, I don't care who you are, man. Like, call up somebody and be like, hey, buddy, you want to come kill some gators with me today? And it's like, hell yeah. So, anyway. But yeah, that dude's a beast, though, man, for real. Like, being able to wrangle them fucking gators up with one hand and then pop them with the other is what it is. But, anyway. Yeah, Louisiana does seem like a cool place outside, like, the major city again. Like, I know that specifically when it comes to New Orleans, though, you can actually legally drink there. It's like one of the few, I think it's like 5 or 6 places or whatever in this country you can legally drink on the street and stuff. And that just happens to be one of them. That being said, it's also very, like, I know there's a lot of people out there that would be like, oh, voodoo, hoodoo, all that kind of weird shit like that or whatever. It's like, whatever, But nah, seriously, man, like supernatural stuff, like, you don't fuck around with the dark arts, dude, seriously. And that's the one thing about New Orleans and stuff like that, like it being as old as it is and stuff. There is some legit creepy shit in that area, dude, and specifically in the state of Louisiana. And when you talk to some of them people like your Troy Landry types of stuff like that have actually seen shit out in those fucking bogs and swamps and stuff, dude, like, yeah, you don't fuck around with like the Bigfoot, the Yetis, the skunk apes, all stuff like that is what it is. Various fucking Wendigos and whatnot. Another crazy ass supernatural shit out there. It's like, nah, man, fuck that. Not to mention the possibility of vampires, which is, I think, very likely, especially in a city like that, honestly, New Orleans there. Just because it'd be so easy to basically be a vampire and fucking like just chill out or whatever. And people would not even think like twice basically about it. And you like, again, people go missing all the time is what it is, dude. And you can basically just have somebody disappear at certain times in their life. And, that's the crazy part too. Cause I remember, I forget what I was watching one time. It was several years back now is what it was. And it was basically, it was like some like series that like Investigation Discovery or somebody did about like serial killers or something like that across the country at the time back in the 60s, 70s, 80s and stuff like that. And they were discussing how at any given time, any person over the age of 18 can basically go missing like at certain times or whatever and just not be missed. Like they might be like a little bit missed after like a few days or whatever, but it's like they can go missing for like a day or two and not be missed is what it is. And unfortunately, I think that's how a lot of these serial killers operated back in those days, dude. They found like one of the people that weren't going to be missed is what it was, and just were like snatch them up on the street and stuff like that, dude. It's kind of the same thing with vampirism and stuff like that. If vampires actually do exist, is what it is. Obviously, you would have them just target like random people and shit like that wouldn't really be missed. It's like, oh, there's a fucking prostitute walking down the street. yank them off the fucking street in an alleyway and just start feeding on them is what it is, dude. And disappear the body somehow is what it would be then. So, yeah, it would be like all those like downtrodden folks is what it is, man. That even if they were to be, reported missing and stuff like that, it's like, the cops don't care is what it is, dude. They're just like, oh, whatever, fucking another one to add to the pile kind of thing is what it is. So, yeah, it's sad, but it's true, honestly, dude. And I feel like there's definitely some shit like that going on nowadays is what it is. Like, again, probably serial killery more than anything is what it is, dude. But again, if there was vampires that do exist out there, that would be a good way to target, the less fortunate in our societies is what it is, dude. And it would be, easy meals basically for them is what it would be then. So, but yeah, just crazy, crazy shit all the way around is what it is. But I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, truthfully, obviously, like everything is based on something. Like a lot of it's a lot of the old tales and stuff like that of like vampires or werewolves or whatever is all based on like folklore and stuff. But the thing is, like, who's to say that some of it's not true? Honestly, I mean, hell, we have our own version of Bigfoot here. It's called Ohio. It's called the Ohio Grassman. What's funny is we actually look into it though. It kind of looks like some motherfucker in a ghillie suit. It's just like I would not be surprised if somebody actually invented time travel at some point in the future or whatever, and just were like, hey. I'm going to go back and fuck with people like 300 years ago, whatever the case be, and just fucking throw a ghillie suit and just jump through a fucking time portal or something like that, came back and was like, ah, and shit. So, but nah, though, seriously, though, there are definitely some things out there that are legit, like Bigfoot specifically. I think, honestly, if people were to ask me legitimately, like, what I think Bigfoot is, I think it's basically early man that never evolved. Truthfully, I think it's basically a prehistoric ancestor of ours that basically just continued down the path of more primitive ways and stuff like that. And there was enough of those kind of, that shows that life is what it was. That basically then continued on and continued to live and stuff like that. And of course, the reason that they never found Bigfoot or any kind of signs of Bigfoot is what it is, legitimately, is because if you actually look into, different TV series like that show Sanctuary back in the day, it's because there's like cavern systems into a hollow earth kind of deal is what it is, which would make sense, honestly, to me anyway. Like the whole hollow earth theory and stuff like that. You have basically a theory about hollow earth is what it is, that essentially what happens is there are different places inside of like cave systems and stuff like that that are like hidden passageways and shit. And you can basically just move through those like a staircase or whatever, and it just goes down further and further and further into like some open area or whatever underneath the ground and stuff like that. And that's where they would be hidden is what it would be then. And it's kind of like the same thing with the those weird like mystery staircases in the woods and like various places like Seattle and stuff like that. Or not Seattle, but like Washington State area and stuff like that in their wood system there. Pacific Northwest specifically is what it is, like that, Oregon, etc. They have like the big, major forestry areas and stuff like that. And you find like random staircases out there and shit that are just like, I think they call them like staircases to heaven or something like that is what it is. And yeah, I could definitely see some crazy shit like that, honestly. And especially after watching that show From this past year, like, dude, I could totally see somebody walking up one of those and you just walk through like an invisible door to like another dimension or some shit like that, honestly, it would be. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting either way though to think about shit like that, honestly. And again, it's nice to be able to talk about things like that from time to time and, just discuss like various things is what it is then. So, but yeah, I'll be back again here in a little bit. I want to say, I don't know if it was Utah that I was watching something this morning of or where it was at. Maybe it was Utah, maybe it was someplace else, I'm not sure. But they had a giant snowfall the other day and this guy was digging like a 10-foot hole full of snow is what it was, dude. And I'm just like, bro, if that shit's straight packable snow, man, you could build a badass fucking like fort inside the snow or like some kind of crazy like snow castle for like a couple days or something like that for like a week before it all melts down. If you do it right too, by the way, it would last for probably 2 weeks or so because you would basically figure out a way to do the inside of it once you build it out and stuff to make sure the walls don't collapse, and you basically like ice them over a little bit is what it would be for like infrastructure and like make it more sound and stuff like that so it doesn't collapse in on you and stuff. So, but yeah, that'd be pretty cool though. But yeah, it was a fucking crazy ass thing though. The guy's just like standing in like this 10-foot hole with a shovel all the way at the top is what it is. So, but yeah, Mother Nature's a crazy motherfucker sometimes, man. I'll tell you what. But anyway, like I said, we'll be back here in a little bit to discuss the whole Tyree Nichols case and stuff like that. I'm going to grab a couple New York Post articles that I found last night is what it was. I would have talked about him on Mark My Words #3 last night. Unfortunately, we did not do it because I guess he was dealing with family issues and stuff like that. So it's whatever, honestly. I'll just talk about it here on a grandstand in a few minutes then. So other than that, that's where we're at for the day. And I'll be back a little bit here to do another one. So I'll see you guys then. And then sometime later this week, I'm going to end up switching accounts then because I'm almost out of time on this one for the month. So I think I got about 45 minutes left on that one, which I think as long as you're still recording when it goes through, you can basically go for like another hour or two is what it is then. But yeah, we're not going to do too much longer on that one. But we will definitely have we'll definitely do about a half hour, 45 minutes or so on that next grandstand is what it is then to, burn off the rest of the time on this account then for this month and then switch accounts is what it'll be then for next time then after that. But yeah, until later, I will be back then, and then we'll be back probably sometime tomorrow or next day for some other stuff. And I will see you guys in 132.